The Acolyte episode 7, the penultimate episode, the one where we finally see the other half of the story with May and Osha childhood trauma. And oh man, did they drop that bomb? Oh yeah, did everything change? Learn so much, see the rest of the episodes in a different light? Well, eh. Alright, so I'm not sure how well incoherent and unrambly this video is going to be because I honestly don't really know where to begin. I guess we should kind of begin with some overall and then the beginning. So overall with this episode, I think I would just kind of describe it as lackluster. I think it was probably one of the stronger episodes. There were elements there that I wish was explored more. There was elements that I kind of wanted to see and was just kind of underwhelmed with how it was done. I thought it was just could be better. So there were parts that were bad and then there was parts that were average. So put them together and you still got not great and kind of boring. And now I guess to start from the beginning of the episode when they are doing science and force metal detecting on this planet to try to find a virgins, or I can't remember what it was called, and I'm too lazy to go back and see what they called it. This show does not deserve effort. They're on this planet looking for virgins with this fancy equipment, and you see that the older apprentice dude doesn't want to be there. You kind of knew that before, but he doesn't want to be there. He just wants to go home. They've been there for weeks, months, something like that. And he doesn't want to be there. Doesn't really know why they're there. Don't know why he doesn't know why they're there if they've been there that long. And they tell him we got to find the virgin in this forest. Kind of explain it to him a little bit. And I can't help but think, this dude looks pretty old. Maybe not Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 1 about to take trials old, but he's a pretty seasoned Padawan by his age. And later when you see him, do a lightsaber and try to resist mind control, he's pretty adept at fighting and has some force control. So why wouldn't he know about the virgins and the concept of that with the force? Why wouldn't they have told him that's why I was there for? Surely, if you're starting at such a young age Jedi training up until, young adult, at some point, one of the teachers or Yoda, because I know he liked to teach stuff, would say something about this concept that they have the technology to try to find. And I guess with that, they eventually discover in this episode that it is the twins is the virgins. Their force signature Mandalorians or whatever are the exact same. So they have this technology and this means or coherent way of figuring out when the force has created life. But they didn't use it on Anakin in episode 1. It was all hunch from a high midichlorian count and based on prophecy. So back in this time, they have scientific means of proving this kind of stuff, and they probably still know about this prophecy. So why wasn't it a thing in episode 1? It's just it's small shit like this where they just don't think about the future of Star Wars when they're in the past. That just kind of it really annoys me. But anyway, so Soul is tired of whiny pants man or something, goes off by himself, discovers the children. Through the act of watching them, he just suddenly feels this kind of creepy, super strong urge to just take Osha, to nurture her, protect her, and she would be in trouble. Specifically her, fuck her sister, specifically her, he wants to take. and he just can't help himself. That child. Ooh, that child something. I gotta get her. I gotta get her in that training. I don't care if everyone tells me no. When the those Jedi Council people, they didn't want me to take her. So you know what? In the future, when the Sith comes back, I'm gonna help cover that up because fuck the Jedi Council. They didn't let me kidnap his children. Goes over to Trinity. It was like, hey, there's these children. You know, I know we were looking for life on this planet that was more than just plants. But turns out there's a whole bunch of witches and small children, and I really want one of those children. They're all there. Don't know why I didn't pick up on our scanners on our spaceship. Don't know why we didn't think to try the big fortress that someone later says was an abandoned mine or something from when this planet had life before situation and life now. Don't know why that would have been one of the first places they would have checked when they landed if they knew about that. But yeah, there is all these wishes and children, and I want a child, so let me go get them. He's like, no, don't do it. He's like, okay, but what if I do it? What if you come with me? She's like, okay, yeah, we can do that instead. Go over. I pretty much show everything from episode 3 again. They show how she was in crazy, I guess, the nice mommy got in the head of Padawan dude saying, hey, I see you want to go home. Well, just kneel to me and you can go home. How do you like these vague sexual undertones I'm putting here? You want to go home? And he's like, yeah. And so then his eyes turn black and he gets possessed. Trinity sits there going, oh my god, you're possessed. I know I have the power to break that. I don't feel like using it this time because I'm not a huge fan of my Padawan. And all that shit breaks down. You see the whole end of the scene where, hey, turns out we will take the kids to come do the test. Great. So then the children are brought to the ship to do the test, take the blood, run the midichlorian counts, do the whole guess the picture on the screen thing from episode 1. May clearly phones it in. They say, oh, she was been told to flunk the test. Osha passes the test with Soul's help or influence or something. Didn't fully understand, I'll admit, how he helped when Journey was like, oh, you practically taught her how to pass the test. Whatever, but she passed. Journey was like, I'll tell the council, see what they want to do. And it inevitably comes that the council's like, yeah, they're too old. We don't want to deal with them, or those witches, just leave it alone and come back. Soul didn't like this answer. He's like, man, get me in front of the council, let me talk to them. Trinity's like, no, they made up their mind, you won't change them. Just really doesn't want Soul to talk to the council. Really doesn't want Soul to talk to the council. Says, you don't do anything stupid. He's like, oh, ooh, I really want this OSHA. I really want OSHA. Ooh, oh, she's in danger. I gotta get that OSHA. And Trinity's like, hey, don't form connections on this girl. You're not supposed to be doing that. And I'm watching the episode going, why does he have such a strong connection to her? Like, just because the Force? I don't understand big connection. Why is he so weirdly obsessed with her? But, and Padawan dude is like, hey, look, their midichlorian counts are, like, super duper high. Oh, man, like, they're, like, Force signature, or whatever he called it, are the same. Twins, even though they're twins, they shouldn't be the same. These are the exact same. Holy crap, they're the versions. Well, if we go and kidnap them, that's the evidence that we need. And then we can go home. I can finally go home. Yay. And he hightails it to the castle where poor mommy has been preparing for them to come because she's like, the Jedi are evil and they're going to kill us all and take our children and we won't be able to survive. So I'm definitely going to prepare to fight. Go May, be angry. Be angry at Osha for wanting to go with the Jedi. Be angry at her. And meanwhile, Osha's talking to Good Mommy, and it's like, hey, I want to be part of Jedi. And she's like, okay, whatever you want. So all that fight's interrupted by Padawan Dude and Soul. And then Good Mommy doesn't say anything. She's there. You know, there's this tense Mexican Star Wars showdown. And the Good Mommy just decides, you know, I'm gonna turn to smoke. Not gonna say anything to the guy right next to me. Not going to, with my mind possess telekinesis talk to you powers or whatever they showed. You're like, by the way, I'm the good one. I want Osha to go with you. Or just say it to his face right there. Be like, hey, you know, you can have her. And Batman would be like, no, you can't. And be like, no, you can have her. I'm the good one. I'm going to try to help you. Then turn to smoke. No, she just turns to smoke. And it looks really creepy. And you can't blame Souls for just be like, I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but last time we were here, but it's really tense right now. And last time we was here, she possessed somebody. So he just stabs her. She's dead. They fight Mad Mommy, who at one point also turns to smoke. And then it takes the rest of the cultists apparently to possess Wookiee Man, who was on a ship with Trinity and now wasn't on a ship with Trinity, and just shows up possessed and fights Padawan Dude. How Padawan Dude gets the scar on his eyes, and he is choking out Soul when Trinity Matrix appears, Force leaps headlock with their legs thing. Kalnaka, and she goes, oh, look at all this Force brainwash connection. I was gonna break that. And that kills the rest of the Covenant. Just kills them. I don't know why. I don't know how. Just kills them. Like, oh, we broke the connection. Okay. Big Trinity broke all of those people's brainwashing, but she didn't even attempt to break the good mom witch's control over the Padawan that she clearly gave no shits about. She hated that man because he was a straight white man. She hated that man. The rest of the diverse people, oh, they're cool. They're chill. So everybody's dead. Soul runs off to find the children while they take care of Kanaka and the other apprentice and stuff. And that's where he runs into May and Osha on the bridge. And ooh, wait, oh, he's both of them on the bridge. The bridge is collapsing. And he's trying to save both of them. But remember how really into Osha he was? Well, he decides to let May fall because he can't, with the Force, save both of them. When he was trying to lift the bridges, maybe try lifting the people, bring them to you. Whatever. You know, Force powers always vary with whatever the scenes need them to be. But look at that. You know, he feels guilty because he picked Osha over May and thought he had killed her sister. Bring her back to the ship. Trinity's like, listen, I told you so. You weren't supposed to do this. You weren't supposed to start this conflict. You weren't supposed to get involved. Now this girl's lost her everything, and we have to tell council what happened. That her sister burned down and everyone died. Essentially lying. So then Osha wakes up, and then you get Soul reluctantly telling the half-truth lie about May burning down the building and killing everybody. And that's the episode. So yeah, I guess it was some better, reveal and some character stuff there than other episodes. So I guess you would say it was better than them, but it was still just kind of boring, honestly. Everything was kind of lackluster, even the Wookiee fight. Because Wookiees, you get all these lines about how they can just rip appendages off easily, throw people around, and you get some of that with this. Kilnock is clearly a very slow but heavy hitter. He does throw Soul around. He does the choke thing that we've seen before in other Star Wars. But he never really felt like the oh shit kind of hulking physical fighter you would think from a Wookiee. Like I expected more damage to be done when he was fighting the Padawan and Soul. Like throughout this season, you see Soul wearing gloves. How like, oh shit, that happened. You know, Kanako would feel bad, banish himself from this planet. Thing would be if it turns out in that fight he like ripped Soul's arms off, or like one of his arms off, or something, and it exposed that he's been wearing gloves this entire time because he's covering up the robotic arm, and like Kanako being like, I can't believe I freaking just I did that to my friend and my fellow Jedi, and that's why he's on that other planet looking for the swirls and the reason and the power that made him get corrupted and taken over and everything. Like, there's been plenty of brutality in Star Wars before, and appendages lost, and when lightsabers come out, consequences happen, other than just a little scar on your face. There's so much they could have done. There were the beginnings of ideas put there, and not a lot of it followed through, and then there's just not enough time to follow that through because there's only one more episode. They've got a lot to tie up. I don't know if this is going to get a second season, and they definitely should not have planned for a second season. The first season should have a coherent full story. I just don't know how they're going to be able to do that in a good, meaningful, and not rushed way in this last episode. And I definitely thought they were going to try and make the Jedi seem more evil than they did, even though they did, try to make the Jedi come out as the bad guys. They definitely did not land it as much as I suspect the showrunners wanted you to get. You go like, oh, all these morally gray everything, it's more complicated stuff. So all the witches were definitely not nice people either. They were doing I don't know what, and as soon as these Jedi show up, they're possessing Padawans and making threats. I mean, this is all stuff that was episode 3 kind of issues. I know I didn't specifically go over that episode, but still, nobody was painted in that good of light, and if I had to choose a side, I definitely think the Jedi were more in the right, but they just made stupid choices and didn't think everything through, especially the Padawan dude and his whole motivation and how his actions essentially made the entire series happen. This guy just wanted to go home that bad. He just fucked everything up, and this entire series happened because this dude, this Padawan, who looks close to the age of being able to take the Jedi trials, just really wanted to go home. And honestly, with how quickly they show you can get from Coruscant to anywhere in this series, because there's no sense of time and distance and travel, they probably could have went home at any point for like a good hour and then just come back. They didn't have to set up camp on the planet. Yeah, other than describing the episode from start to finish and the grievances I have along the way, that's really it. It was just a little bit better than the other ones, but still just bad decisions. Everywhere. Stuff that doesn't make sense. You can't think about the show. And everyone's going, oh, don't nitpick, don't be petty. It's Star Wars, it's for children. Turn your brain off. And that's just not what Star Wars really was, or ever was to me. It's not flashy lights. It can be sophisticated. Even if you want to say it's for children, give children more credit than that. Because if you're sitting there, and if you're the adult, and you're watching it with your kids, the kids still like the lightsaber stuff, they'll like the Wookiee stuff, and whatever. And then you need something that kind of help the adults go through it too rather than just sit there going, I have to watch this slog so my children are happy. You can do it. There are lots of children's things out there that have complex themes, really good moments, like Toy Story. There's a lot out there. And Star Wars should not be downgraded to just lightsabers and the Force. It deserves more than that. It's kind of dead now. I don't know if it'll be brought back to its former glory, but it did deserve better than this. Well, I guess that's all I got for this episode. Like, subscribe. See you for the last episode, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do an overall season video for it. We'll see how maybe these next 2 videos do in terms of the channel and the algorithm and views and everything. But thanks, subscribe. See you next time. Bye.